Welcome back to the NordVPN Top 6 show. Hit the like buttons, subscribe, and get ready to leave your comments below. Using social media, using the internet is a fun place for the majority of people. But what's really important to remember is to protect yourself at all times. When out and about using public Wi-Fi, maybe when you're at an airport, in a cafe, it's absolutely imperative to protect yourselves against hackers and people that will try to steal your personal data. Public Wi-Fi is very convenient, but it comes at the expense of security. When you're answering emails in your local cafe or absent-mindedly scrolling through social media whilst at an airport, somebody could be tracking and hacking your data. Using NordVPN protects your data whilst you are using other networks. This hides your browsing history, your bank information, and your personal passwords and more. Aside from protecting my data, one of the biggest benefits to me when it comes to using NordVPN is allowing me access to my shows, sporting events, and apps that I subscribe to wherever I am around the world. I have accounts in America with Peacock and other parts of the world to catch up on sport with. But if I'm not in the USA, I'm still able to use NordVPN to connect to my apps and stream the football, stream the movies, and watch my favorite shows. We'll speak about NordVPN a little bit more during the Top 6 show to give you some real insight to the benefits that you can get through using this. But Nord are celebrating their 11th birthday. So firstly, happy birthday to them. But what does this mean for you? Every single one of you that subscribes and signs up to a 2-year plan will receive a mystery gift on top. You have to use my exclusive link, which is in the description below. Now enjoy the rest of the Top 6 show. Hit the like and the share button, as I say, and get ready to put your comments in. They're very valuable to us. And let's do this. Welcome back to the Top 6 show, everybody. We've got an elite panel tonight. It's a big weekend. Could be an historic weekend of football as well, with Man United playing Newcastle. There's either a 6 or 60-plus year trophy drought that's going to end this weekend. We could see the sacking of Graham Potter, or maybe it's still Thomas Tuchel's fault. We'll delve into Spurs versus Chelsea on this show. The top of the table debate rages on with a brilliant week for Arsenal. City, though, having more wobbles, more problems. Who is going to end up on top? Could Arsenal go 5 points clear? We're going to delve into that and some transfer stories as well for you today. Viewers, make sure like buttons are smashed. We want to get your comments in below as well. Of course, you can see the brilliant panel here. Jessica Black is here, ready to rep the Gooners today. Patrick's in the house, ready to... I think this might be the first game in weeks where Spurs fans feel confident going up against this Chelsea side. Have Hope is here, a.k.a. Sebastian, ready in a different location today. Where you look like you're in the dentist waiting room, bro. Where you at, bro? I see them blinds in a minute.
Hush, man. You know, making moves, man.
Making moves. Man like Nobbins is here, there with a haircut, a nice fresh haircut as well, I see. Looking smart, looking ready to go. And, of course, Colleen is back with us, mic'd up, ready to go to back her Arsenal. How's everyone doing there? Is everyone well?
Yeah, man, all good, man. All good. You know, I mean, I just have issues with Quidditch, man. You know, Quidditch is acting a bit wild out in his press conferences, man. So, you know, gonna go down to have a few words with Quidditch, you know.
That's his new nickname, yeah.
Quidditch. We're going to call him Quidditch.
Well, no. That's his official name. Until he leaves my club, it's called Quidditch. So that's his new name.
Wow. We will be talking Graham Potter later because that man's been moving mad today. Legitimately, I felt embarrassed. I'm not a Chelsea fan, but I felt like that's, you know, secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, he's overdoing it, man. Overdoing it. It's like them, like you said, X Factor Extreme Makeovers when they come out, fresh trim, overdoing it with the jokes, overdoing it with everything's just forced. It's like the PR team has said, listen, you need to show some personality. And it's like, yeah, it's just too much.
Patrick is a mess, man. Patrick, like, it's a mess. Maybe we'll talk about Sunday, man. But Patrick, if certain things happen on Sunday, like, it's going to be war, bro. It's going to be war. So
it's going to be an interesting one. After that game Sunday, though, there's a very interesting match. Of course, Newcastle United. I better say United because Newcastle fans have been triggered this week by not being called.
Why are they annoyed that the whole? I mean, to be fair, when people say United, they instantly think of Man United. So I understand why they didn't add the Newcastle. But yeah, I've seen so many people go nuts on Twitter and online about it. I don't really understand it personally.
I think it's because Man United became Man United after Newcastle or Newcastle United. We used to be
okay.
So there's a little bit of that. But it's one of them ones, isn't it? Like, we just made it more famous. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, you know, it is what it is. I can't help that. It's the way things are. But it's not the biggest competition in the world. but I do think it's a big and significant final. In terms of Man United going into this, big win for them last night, came from behind to beat the best team in La Liga. And as I love what Erik ten Hag said, they're 8 points clear of Real Madrid. And this week we saw how good Real Madrid were. How significant do you think last night's going to be for Man United going into this game against Newcastle?
I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, I don't rate the Karabuki Cup. I've never rated the Karabuki Cup, you know. So shout out to that trophy. But the thing though is it's a final. I mean, it's a trophy. Like United have not won a trophy I've taken seriously like in over a decade. So this is big for United. And I think you always want to like look, okay, Barca didn't have Gavi, they didn't have Pedri, they didn't have Dembele. Xavi got his coaching badges in the desert. So there's so many things to say against Barca and that's win and so forth. But at the end of the day, a win is a win. A win is a win. And the fact that they came back from a goal down, even though Barca had a geriatric striker up front, it's the mode, it's the mentality. So I just think that going into Sunday, beating Barca, United are heavy favorites. Do you know who Newcastle's keeper is going to be on Sunday?
Carrius, right?
Carrius,
yeah.
Or the other dude.
Terrace Daisy Flowers. If you guys don't win by at least 3 goals against that bomb of a keeper known as Loris Karius.
Nah. You're overdoing it now. Even to say the heavy favorites.
Did you see what that guy did in the UCL final?
Yeah, that was a long time ago, though, right?
So
keepers can have redemption.
He's Newcastle's third keeper, though. Yeah. To be fair, you have if you're United period or anyone in their attacking lineup, you've got to be thinking he's not played a game in God knows when. We've got to be peppering him with some shots. You've got to be feeling confident, surely, after just beating Ter Stegen and them.
No, look,
I feel confident. Look, as a United fan, I can answer it instead of speaking sort of rhetorically. We are confident. We are the favourites. Thinking we have to smash them 3-0 or more, like that's just a preempted strike to say, well, if we win 2-0, you're winning it, you're champions, but it doesn't mean anything. United need to win. I don't care how we win. I don't care if we're outplayed and we win. I'd love to win 5-6, 7-0, bash them up, but I don't care. I just want the trophy. I need this. It's been 5 seasons, but it's almost 6 years now. Almost 6 years with no trophy for a club like Man United is utterly unacceptable. We know that. That's why we've been criticizing them. That's why we've been slamming the owners, why we've had managers sacked, why we've criticized players. We have to win this game. I'm not writing Newcastle off, though. They have got a brilliant defensive record. Even in recent weeks when they've been hard, they haven't been winning, they've been hard to beat. The best team in the country couldn't beat them so far this year. As an example, they gave City a run for their money. They've already drawn with us once this year. So I think for Man United fans to go into this game and think to themselves, this will be easy. If we have that mentality Sunday, we'll get beat. We need to go into this game knowing it's hard, knowing it's difficult, and understanding the repercussions. For us, this is the beginning of a new era. And to start it with a trophy inside the first 9 months of a rebuild, the fact we're fighting on all 4 fronts as well, it's massive. It's a massive game for us as a club, the context of where we are. We are favourites. I'm confident we'll beat Newcastle, but I'm definitely not doing
what happens if you don't. What for you? What happens if United don't? Because Newcastle, I mean, it's a final. Newcastle are in for a fair shout after Thursday night. How would you feel if United don't win? Because I can imagine there'll be your level-headed United fans, and there'll be others who are going to be very upset that you've lost the final under Erik ten Hag. If that happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we don't win, it's heavily disappointing. There'll be, listen, I can't assess the game now. I haven't seen it, but there'll be criticism. What it does, it puts more pressure on winning the Europa and more pressure on winning the FA Cup. From the position we're in this season.
And not the league,
I don't think we can catch you. And I know you gooners keep doing this, but my belief with how good you are.
Just wanted to double check whether you're fighting on all 4 fronts.
We are fighting on all 4 fronts, but it all depends on what Arsenal do. If you win your next 3 games, you play 3 times before we do. We could go into the game away at Liverpool and be 14 points behind you before a kickoff. Like, I'm not going to sit here and make a fool of myself and say we're going to catch you. By the way, if you lose 2 of your next 3 games, trust me, I'll be talking about title race then. But it's down to Arsenal. Arsenal have got that in their hands. But what if we don't win? There'll be criticism, there'll be banter, and I can take that all day. But then we have to win a trophy. From where we are now, in all 4 comps, playing this well, for a club Man United size to not win a trophy from this point, it's nothing but disappointing. And I'm going to maintain those standards for the rest of the season. I expect to win something because in the FA Cup, we're as good as everybody left in it. Arsenal are better than us, and they're in the Europa League. But I don't know yet whether Arsenal are going to go for it. And we're definitely the best team left in the Carabao Cup. So we're looked at as favourites, the joint favourites in all three tournaments. I expect us to win one. If we don't, doesn't mean I'm going to ask for the manager to be sacked, but it means I'll be disappointed with the outcome trophy-wise of our season. So, yeah, I'll maintain those standards. I'll keep that chest, and I won't try and say it's some Mickey Mouse trophy. It doesn't really matter. It does. Winning trophies is key, because if we don't win one this year, there's even more pressure next season. That pressure will mount. It makes it harder to perform, and I want that monkey off the back of the manager. So, yeah, we have to win this. By hook or by crook, it's massive for Man United.
No, I mean, like, I think that's the thing, though, is like winning this. No one takes the trophy seriously, but even if no one takes the trophy seriously, just winning it puts Man United in the right psychological place to now try and say what's up for the league title and the Champions League, or for the Europa League, because really, it's about the league and it's about the Champions League. Those are the two main trophies. Like, no one rates the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, but winning those trophies.
When you say no one, who do you?
I don't agree with that.
Like,
Have hope says he doesn't rate it, and the reason people say they don't rate it, it's a way of downplaying people.
I'm confused about that one.
Tell, he was on his knees for it last year, screaming about Lukaku offside. You're on your knees. What are you talking about? Get out of town.
No one asked you. Can you mute your mic? No one asked you.
If no one cared about the trophy, then surely you'd see more lesser sides winning it. When was the last time we had like a final where it was 2-0 teams? Was it like Swansea Bradford maybe? When was that? 2013?
The point I'm making is, outside of England, same thing, like outside of Spain, no one cares about the Copa del Rey. Outside of England, no one cares about the FA Cup.
Yeah, but we're
your main trophy.
We're in England.
Yeah,
we're in England.
No, but you have to listen to the point I'm making is that the biggest trophies is your league, and of course it's that European trophy, be it the Champions League or the Europa League. That's domestic cup. It's cool, but let's be real, guys. Let's keep it a stack. It's your league title, and it's that major European trophy. That other trophy, it's desserts. It's like a side
I think you're gonna have to start changing your tune, Sebastian, because the way things are looking over at your sides, you'd be on your knees for a Carabao Cup in the next couple of years.
We're talking about Man United. Where did
but
you
know, now you're just talking rubbish. I feel like we just have to like bring you back down to earth a little bit.
Stay on topic, Terry. As I'm staying on topic and so forth, for United, I wish you guys well for Sunday, because I've been saying to United fans that don't lose to Newcastle. Don't lose to Loris Karius. Because if United lose to Newcastle, it will have a monumental effects for United for the rest of the season. Because United, basically, there is no excuse for United not to win on Sunday. There is zero excuse.
I understand that. Jess, both teams, one's got new owners in Newcastle. United are on the way to having it. Both are on different types, but both on trophy droughts. What do you think the ramifications is for either of these teams winning it? As a rival of United and Newcastle, these upstarts that want to get involved in title races and more, do you see, who would you rather win? Which is the lesser of two evils? How do you see this having a butterfly effect and kicking United or Newcastle onto another level?
I mean, I don't know. It depends. I think yes and no. Like, it's the Carabao Cup, and you know, anything can happen from there. So I think obviously it'll give those teams some confidence and stuff like that. But like, let's not sit here and act like if you win the Carabao Cup, all of a sudden that means you're going to win everything from here on out. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, who would I rather win it? I mean, I think from my perspective, I'd rather Newcastle win it, just because for me, like in the short term, I feel like they're less of a threat than Man United. But I mean, if there's a way both teams could lose, then that's what I'd choose, because I mean, you know what I mean? Like, who would I rather win? Like, either. But yeah, like it's hard to know, just because like we won the FA Cup, you know, so I'm not committed to the idea that winning this means that all of a sudden it's just going to be smooth sailing from there. But yeah, I think I'd rather Newcastle win, just because of the closeness of Man United to Arsenal versus Newcastle.
I get that. The difference, I think, when Arsenal won the FA Cup, you weren't doing it in the league, where Man United are starting to deliver in the league simultaneously. And I think I look at United, and I think Newcastle winning it is a bad thing for everybody as well. I think Newcastle are bad news for everybody in the top six, because they're coming and they're going to keep coming for years and years and years. But with Man United, the plan of the summer, people can see it coming to fruition. I remember a lot of stick for United fans. Why are you buying Casemiro? He's old. You should have moved Varane on. He's old. Why are you buying old players? Only buy this weird notion on social media, especially Twitter, around only buy young. That's the only way to do a rebuild is buy young. But we're seeing the fruits of that labor almost bearing themselves. We've just got to pick the fruit now. And that's, yes, we've got to grow. We've got to build for the future. And we've got to develop a team that can win a Premier League. But why not do it whilst winning trophies along the way? And I think the development of this Man United team this year, from being a side that I know everybody by Nobbins, I think, was there, the Football Terrace live event at the beginning of the season. No one on that panel gave us a catch chance in hell of finishing in the top 6. Some people were even saying maybe not in the top half. To be sitting comfortably third in the league, in a Carabao Cup final, just knocked out top of the league of Barcelona from the Europa League. I think Man United have exceeded everybody's expectations. And I do think there's an element, because I see the saltiness, especially last night from Liverpool fans. I've never seen anything like it. It was but I mean, weirdly, they opened their mouths and were like slagging us off for beating Barcelona, saying it's a nothing competition. Beating them means nothing. It's like, you do realize they're better than Madrid this year, and Madrid just absolutely circumcised you in your own stadium. Like, with no anesthetic, grown-up man being circumcised, like Jesus in public. Christ. You know what I'm saying? They got ruined, and I'm just like, why the saltiness? And then you remember what the saltiness is about. There's a fear. Just like people were triggered at the beginning of the season about Arsenal being back, Man United are doing it, and there is that, not again. And I think with new owners as well, us winning, if we win Sunday, you are going to see so much hate on the TL, and I just need to sit back.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hate for winning?
Yes.
Hate for winning the Karabuki?
You've already...
From rivals, yeah.
Your comment there, my friend, your comment there saying Karabuki Cup is exactly what I'm talking about. You're literally proofing the pudding. You're literally proving my point.
Terrace, come on, man. No.
I love it. I love it. There's a super chat here that says, what do you mean it means nothing? You are talking rubbish. Tell that to every single Newcastle fan. Also, put some respect on Newcastle's name. And John Nathan, I mean, I'm not saying everyone's disrespected him. I am. I'm not going into this game against Newcastle thinking this is a walk in the park. This is a hard game. This is a club. And I said it earlier. The UK was still rationing food after World War II when they last won a trophy.
Jesus. Wait, hold on. I thought you said you was respecting them, and then you're throwing stats like that.
I feel like that stat can be applied to others on this panel, but I think that's a nice one.
I see.
But like literally, like this has been such a long time for them. Like, I don't think people realize that if Newcastle win, this is seismic for a club their size with what they're going through. And yeah, I don't want them to. I don't want them to win it because I'm in it. But I wouldn't want them to win it if anybody else's teams are there as well. We don't need another competitor coming to the pack. Like
100. Yeah, I'm torn, Tal, because obviously, United, again, being a Tottenham fan, I don't mind United, but some of your fans are annoying. But then Newcastle, if they start to win trophies and we haven't yet, it's just, it's not good. Ooh. It's not a good look.
Ooh.
It's not a good look. I know,
it's not, is it, babe? Yeah, it's not. I didn't even think about that. It's not a good look,
the fact
is
that
it?
Newcastle have just become good and already win a trophy,
inside a year as well.
Literally.
Everyone would care about these other trophies like the FA Cup and Carabao Cup if it meant automatic Champions League qualification.
I hear that.
It's part, but it's also money. And for me, I don't think people care less about it. Clubs have prioritized Champions League and Champions League positions more so in recent years because of the money that's by. It's money. And then fans play it down. Every fan base that's not in the final says it's a Mickey Mouse Cup. Every fan base that's in it really wants to win it. So when you see I remember watching Arsenal fans in multiple FA Cups in recent years, buzzing about being in it, celebrating like crazy when they won it. But then I've seen them go out the competition and go, no, it don't really matter. We all lie when it comes to that. So yeah, everyone cares. They just pretend not to, in my opinion. 1956 was the last time we won the FA Cup. Yeah, bro, rationing still existed. My dad was 1 year old. He's nearly a great grandfather. Do you know what I mean? It's been a long time, G. Rye 26 here says, Terry, I'm at work right now, but when you've got time, could you please send me the information of how I sign up to NordVPN, etc.? Just DM me. I just DM'd you on your Insta. I will send you through the details of sign up to NordVPN. I'll talk to the viewers a little bit more about it later. But thank you for that super chat, even whilst you're at work and not fully watching. I love the support. Terry, Arsenal are not better than Man United. They had a better start to the season than us, but we are better than them. Stop bigging them up 21 is coming. Listen, you can believe that. Like in terms of the season you have to include everything. Arsenal have been better than us so far this year. They're 5 points ahead of us with the potential to go 8 points ahead of us. That's significant in my opinion, because I think we're that much in front of Spurs, and I think we're that much better than them. So I've got to keep the same energy, but we're gaining on them, and we're gaining on Arsenal quickly. It's not going to take Man United 3.5 years to compete for Premier League titles, and that's what I'm proud of. And that's not a dig at Arsenal. It's just a reality. But right now, I think they are slightly ahead of us, in my humble opinion. But thank you very much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Jess, did you just wake up? Big up to you all. Jess was having a nap this afternoon, to be fair with you. Jess was having a sleep. So you getting some rest. It's Walking Dead marathon later. So, yeah, getting some sleeping. There we go. Predictions, though, for the game. What are we saying, people? What are you going to go with, Have Hope? What's your score predictions for United Newcastle?
Due to Loris Karius being in goal, I'm going for 3-1 to Man United.
Ooh. Nobbins?
I'll say 2-2, penalties. Karius saves the first penalty, thinks he's the hero, and then he makes an absolute mess of like the next 4, and United win.
I like that. Colleen?
I think we'll see 2 goalkeeping errors, because we have 2 very susceptible goalkeepers to a cheeky little error. And then I think United will go on to win it 3-1. But in my heart, I personally would want a Newcastle.
Wait, don't copy my scoreline.
So I said, because Have Hope, as I said last time, I'm just so much in love with you. I'm just copying your score. Sorry, just take it as imitation's the best form of flattery.
Get your own scoreline. No, get your own scoreline. Stop copying the GOAT analyst, man.
I'm sorry, Sebi.
Patty?
1-1 in normal time. Go to penalties, and Man United will win it.
1-1. Karius only concedes 1 goal.
Yeah, it'll be a tight game, man. Newcastle is still defensively, they're probably the best team in the country.
Patrick,
it's not like
give
all
us
of
a
a
real
sudden.
Scoreline. Patrick, don't be diplomatic.
1-1. That's a real scoreline.
What are you saying, Jay?
I think Newcastle will have learned their lesson about that high line against Liverpool. They'll sit back and play their style and really frustrate Man United. I'm actually going to go with the opposite. I'm going to go with Newcastle 2, Man United 1.
That's a lie. No, stop it. JB, stop it. You're lying. You're lying.
I'll tell you a little story about Jess. Last night, I predominantly watched the second half of games if we're at the home studio in the separate room. And the television in the living room is ahead of the computer that I stream it on the app in here. And whenever Barca missed chances last night, United did something good, I could hear Jess slapping the chair, hitting the desk. He storms out the room and the door bangs. This woman, despite being with me, has a hate for Manchester United, which I have never seen from another human being. It is almost uncomprehendable, the despise she has for the football club. So, yeah, she believes that, and she's going to try and believe it into existence. This lady despises Manchester United with a passion. So
yes, JB will salute you, man. I'm with you.
Why can't I predict Newcastle winning the game, though? I don't understand.
Because
are they completely out of it? Because if that's the case, if Man United don't win it, that's shame. Obviously, Newcastle can get a result, right? In a final?
No.
Mm-hmm. Of course they can. It's a game of football. Anything can happen.
And they're a good team as well. People are acting like they're not a good team now. They're a good team. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, I disagree with Have Hope completely. Of course, Newcastle can win it. When it comes to this game, though, look, last night was a special evening at Man United, which I don't expect rivals to understand or care about, to be absolutely honest. But we can feel something different that is brewing in the air. Ex-pros have been at the training ground this week doing interviews. They're all talking about it just feels different. There's a different mood. What Bruno spoke about in terms of players being disciplined, just saying this wasn't happening before, and it's amazing. So I'm very confident going into the game that we can get a result. However, I'll be doing my score prediction and preview Sunday morning on the Football Terrace, so keep your eyes out for it there. You're not getting my prediction now. That's coming later this weekend. It's going to be an interesting one. But listen, rivals, you better pray Newcastle win, because this Manchester United team is on its way to being back. And a trophy here, trust me, it's going to be a thing of beauty.
To be fair, I'd rather you win it, Tal. Out of the two of you, I'd actually rather you not win it. I can't lie. But
Yeah. And both teams are coming, aren't they, long term? So it's not really relevant. It's lose-lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you on that. This here says, can United replace the spine of their team, De Gea, Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksen, Varane, effectively in the next 5 years and stay competitive? Yes. Yes is the answer. And I think that you do that gradually, don't you? You got to think. Let's just say this summer, and I'm going to throw names out there. Don't attack the names, Kareem, because I haven't got time to sit here and think about it in detail. But if this summer we added a top-class goalkeeper and De Jong and Guardiola, that's 3 of those 5 taken care of instantly, as an example. And say the following year, and I'm making these names up. You sign a Jude Bellingham and you sign an equivalent to Declan Rice. He'd probably be gone this summer. That can be done. United are going to have no debt, new billionaire owners. 100% United can do it. They've got to pick right, but it's doable. Again, as a Man United fan, I'm not panicking about what we do in 5 years with this team. I'm enjoying what we're doing now, but thank you. This here says, United ruined Jess's childhood, just like AFTV's Tyre. True. They did. And that's why Arsenal fans hate United. Do you know what's really weird? The rivalry of Man United and Arsenal, because United came out on top, there was suddenly this sort of like United fan, and then Arsenal fell away. We kind of ended up really liking them. It was like, bless our... Like, I kind of liked them in sort of like, bless you, you were old competitors, you've fallen away now. How you doing down there? Where I think Arsenal fans, they just maintain that hate. It was great. TBG says she's...
As if you guys don't hate us as well. Like, come on.
Listen,
be for real.
But you know me.
Acting like we're just like, oh, your little brother. Like, literally in your head. You guys were literally shitting yourselves the beginning of the season because nobody's talking about us. Nobody's talking about us. Like, it's not a one-way street.
Where did I hang on? Where did I say? Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's stop this. Where did I say that? Where did I say this summer? Tell me when I sat there and said, "Why is nobody talking about Man United?"
No. Did I say you? I'm saying fans in general, Man United fans. Let's not act like it's a one-way street, and we're just so mad at Man United.
Let's slow this down. Let's slow this down.
Feel like let's not lie.
Let's slow it down. I weren't talking about everybody else. I was giving you my opinion. So you can't throw that in. Challenge my opinion. And my opinion is Arsenal fans did despise us. I said, me personally, I stopped disliking Arsenal because it was a real rivalry. Then you fell away. I didn't hate you anymore because you weren't a problem. I didn't say no Man United fans hate you. I literally was talking about me, Jay.
Oh, it didn't sound like you were talking about you. You sound like you were talking about
No, I mean, it definitely sounded like I was talking about me because I said I didn't. I said I.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I definitely was talking about me. 110%. Okay. Bruno and Casemiro started the final. We ain't losing is what Joshua Jack says here. Listen, we should win. I don't. Joshua Jack, you guys have all watched the Terrace long enough. Prerequisite predictions. No way we can lose. Impossible to lose. You lose. You've got to believe you can lose to win. You have to have that fear inside you. If United end up winning the quadruple, will this end up being the greatest season in United's history? It won't be the quadruple. There's only one quadruple, and that's League Cup, FA Cup, Prem, Champions League. So the quadruple cannot be done, but we could historically win 4 trophies in one season, but it will not be the quad. The same as there's only one double and there's only one treble, in my personal opinion.
Oh no, that's how it is. That's how it is.
Yeah, but it would still be. It would be nearly on. Listen, everyone will have an opinion, but it'll be in and what United would have in the Premier League era if we did it. We're not going to do it, by the way. But if we did, we'd have the treble, we'd have the Prem Champions League double, and then this sort of quad light. No one could touch us. But yeah, it would be amazing. But we're not winning the league, bro, right now. I don't think. Have hope. Keep cooking with that. Jinxception. Never heard that word before. Chelsea are the new banter club. They are a joke. We'll come to Chelsea very soon.
Chill.
Christian, you're a joke.
Too early. Let's wait till after Sunday.
Deborah Luck here says, "Go on United." Go Man United. But wait until Neymar joins Newcastle. You'll be one fun club. Now that I've given up on Liverpool after 15 years, I'll be rooting for Man United. Good luck.
That's
you,
not.
Deborah.
That's not.
Welcome.
There's no.
Welcome,
way.
Deborah.
No
Listen.
No way.
Keep it coming.
No way.
Keep it coming. Keep it coming, Deborah. Have hope. Why don't you want? Let's say we'll come back to Chelsea in a bit. That's another Chelsea conversation. Who would you guys be starting? Callum Wilson or Alexander Isak?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Wilson, just I don't know, man. I actually don't know.
Actually, no. You know what? I think Isaac is someone who can get a goal out of nothing. So I would start Wilson to begin with, see where the game is at, then bring on. I think Isaac is more effective off the bench because I think he's quicker than Wilson. So maybe if as the game is tiring, if it's either like late in the second half or extra time, I think Isaac will be more effective off the bench than Wilson.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibe. That's a good film. I enjoyed that film. I hate Arsenal fans more than I hate Arsenal FC. That's funny. That's funny. I like that. That's I get that. A lot of people are like that. We have another one here that says Deborah Lux Studios. I don't know what does that mean.
I mean, no, it's a long story. It's something to my family. It's like it's a.
Oh no! I thought it was a kind of studios where they made woohoo films. You know
No. Basically, it's just about someone changing clubs and going on loan to other clubs. So it's a long story.
Yeah. Terry, would you start Veghorst in the final?
Yeah.
He had a bad game last night, but it's really funny because I sort of, even if he does badly, I don't look at him as a flop because he cost $2 million. He's a short-term £2 million makeshift loan because we ain't got no money because the Glazers have hemorrhaged it all, and he's done all right. Do you get what I mean? But I would probably, depends on Rashford's fitness, but I'd start him because bringing speed off the bench against tired legs has worked really well for us. So I'd start him in the game in the 10 role and go from there. But yeah, Veghorst has done all right. He weren't good last night, but he's done all right for us. I've been pretty happy with him, really. Thank you very much, viewers. Make sure like buttons are being smashed and you're subscribing to the Football Terrace. Remember, we are sponsored today by NordVPN. You can scan that QR code that's just above Jesse's head to look at the latest offers that are available via our partnership with them. But as I spoke about many times before, it's very important to protect yourself when using the internet online. Speed your internet up. It stops you from getting a lot of the dumps that come in where your internet slows down. You've all had that, especially in the evenings. It keeps your internet clean and fresh. But really importantly, it means you can get your content globally and worldwide. But there's many savings you can get with this as well. For instance, when it comes to subscriptions, if you change your geolocation to India, YouTube Premium is $188 per month versus $11.99. Apple Music is just $5 per year, not $100 per year. Spotify at £1.61 per month. And if you use Office, it's almost half the price. You can even get computer games cheaper. As you can see here, by changing your geolocation to countries like India or Argentina, you can save anywhere between $20 to $30 to $40 when buying different types of computer games online. And it's a much cheaper way of booking hotels as well. Dollars and dollars or pounds and pounds to be saved when doing this. You can also get Premier League football from as cheap as $2.99 per month. That's what, a cup of coffee in the modern day world. All of that is available via NordVPN. You can go to nordvpn.com/Football Terrace or scan the QR code, check out our offers and get signed up now. And we will give you a 30-day money-back guarantee as well for you to test and play with it, and 4 months free on your package. So go and get signed up to that now. Nord are brilliant. I use them all the time. They are out of this world.
You know, I'm going to say because I've used them, man, and this is HH approved. So if Half Hope says it's money, it's money. So just coming from me using NordVPN, you know that it is amazing. That's Terry, you've changed my life, man. You know, thank you, man. I only appreciate it. What?
Yeah, no, I know you love it. I know you love that HBO thing and the other channels. We know about the other channels you watch. We won't talk about them on air. We know about that. Caught you that time.
Oh, look, man, you know, but all right.
He's even smiling, so.
Look, all right. I'll say nothing, man. You know, because I'm a nice guy. You see, because you know I can be a bad guy, but I'll be the nice guy. I'll be the bigger man. You know, I'll be the bigger man.
I love it. Well, we are going to move on to talk a little bit of Chelsea. Chelsea played Tottenham this weekend, and for some reason, this is normally a gigantic game, and it feels like it's kind of gone under the radar. With I mean, big Champions League week, United Barca has happened. We've got the cup final this weekend. So this game's kind of gone under the radar a little bit. But Chelsea versus Tottenham. And before we move on to Tottenham, what is Graham Potter playing at? Legitimately, what is this man playing at? Because today we have essentially seen him blame Thomas Tuchel's bad preseason for the problems they're in now. He confirmed he was late to a press conference because he was in a crisis meeting prior to coming out. He's having a laugh, isn't he? He's having a laugh, isn't he, Patrick?
Yeah, the crisis meeting thing. I thought, was that banter or was he being serious?
I thought he was bantering until they said, "How did it go?" And he went, "Well, I'm still here." The second bit sounded real.
Oh, okay. I thought I didn't see that second bit. I just cut it off when I thought he was just being cheeky and just like winding them up. Obviously, that's the press.
To be fair, they need a crisis meeting, so it should be true. It should be true.
I just keep saying, just wait till after Sunday because I don't want to go too early because like typically in the form they're in and where they sit in the league and the fact that we're playing them, I'd say, if there's any other team, I'd be really confident going into this game. But I don't feel that confident because Chelsea always have our number no matter what's going on.
Just say that,
I'm not scared. I'm apprehensive. So
you've got the cockerel right there above your heart. Say it. Go on. Say what you want to say.
I've said it. If there's any other team,
at the beginning of the season,
I feel. But yeah, I don't know. But going back to Potter, I still think he's you know what? This is going to sound crazy. I think he's the right man for the job.
Stop it.
But
Patrick,
in this job, you don't get time.
Sorry, cut is a mic.
So,
cut those guys,
this is just me being real. He's a great manager. Well, I say great. He's got the potential to be a great manager. But being at Chelsea and the fact that your fans are so spoiled, they've been spoiled. You guys have just always been like quick to click your fingers and get success. Even when you're winning and you're on a good run, you'll get rid of a manager like Tuchel, who had done amazing things. And if you look at it now, Tuchel had basically elevated so many players. Mason Mount's not the guy he used to be. I could go through the whole squad. And when you look at Graham Potter, he's essentially doing what he did with Brighton, and everyone lauded him at Brighton. But now at Chelsea, it's not the same. And I do think your fans are very, you're just spoiled. And yeah, man, I mean,
I think they deserve to be though, Patrick. Though in the Abramovich, I hate Chelsea as much as any other rival, but the fact is they were the most successful English team in the time frame Roman Abramovich was there. Yeah. Why should they just take this slip and slide with Graham Potter experiment? I don't think he's the right guy.
But Colleen, sometimes there are different ways. There's more than one ways to skin a cat, and obviously
they're 10th.
That quick hiring and firing,
2 wins in 15.
Yeah, I know, but will they finish 10th though? I doubt.
Yeah, at this rate, yes.
Probably, Patrick.
No. Okay. Let me translate what Patrick is saying. Patrick is happy where Chelsea are at because a few years ago, Tottenham had the chance to win the league, but Chelsea, armed with Zad, stopped them from winning the league.
Yeah, battle of the bridge.
So Patrick, wait, let me land. Patrick, let me land. So Patrick has this hate within Chelsea from those years. So what Patrick wants, he knows Quidditch is trash. He knows Quidditch is the wrong man, but as long as Quidditch is there, he knows that Chelsea are no longer the issue. And Patrick knows that, man, if we embarrass these clowns on Sunday, led by this broomstick fool known as Quidditch, it's going to be great. So, Patrick, Patrick, you're a horrible poker player. I can read right through you, bro. You don't fool anybody.
I was annoyed when you look up. I wanted him to be the England manager, so I wanted his succession basically to be after Graham Potter because I knew what would happen at Chelsea. He's not going to get
Brighton
given the time.
To England manager.
Yeah, like why not? Southgate where was he managing? Middlesbrough, right? And he didn't even do well there. At least Graham Potter comes with a rep. He comes with the fact that he develops players, the fact that he actually plays good football, the fact that he plays on the front football, the fact that he...
Let me ask you.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did.
Well,
I ain't seen that.
Okay, let me ask you this, though.
So Chelsea have actually ruined Graham Potter instead of Graham Potter ruining Chelsea. Stop.
Can you please tell this, please? Now I know that you're trolling. Now I know that you're trolling. JB, thank you. Okay, look, here's the thing, though. And this is what I ask people, like, has any manager overachieved at a small club, and in his very next club, has he actually done well at the big club, and his next club being a big club? Here's an example of Moyes. I always said, oh, man, Moyes deserved the summer. Did he? Let's be real. Moyes was hired because it was a Scottish thing with Fergie. So my thing, though, is coaching Brighton isn't the same as coaching Chelsea. Chelsea is one of the biggest clubs in the world.
you know what?
You go Real Madrid,
I can dispel your theory straight away. Pochettino, he did well at Southampton, moved to Tottenham, and then continued
won you
to.
what?
Yeah, but still he did well.
What did he win you?
What did he win?
In terms about what he won, look where we
Pochettino can never be an example of
that. That was a crap analogy.
We went over this theory last time. There are loads of examples of managers being at a small club and then succeeding at a bigger club, like Jurgen Klopp.
There you go.
Mainz
to Dortmund, yeah. Mainz,
it's a tiny club that never been in the Bundesliga, and then went to Dortmund the next year and won the Bundesliga twice and got to a Champions League final. The examples are very few and the examples are very few and far.
Also, the current the current Bayern Munich manager, he done fantastic from where he was in terms of to where he is now. Gallardo over in South America. Yeah, Nagelsmann, yeah. When he first started as a
coach, just out here steering a ship that was already going in the right direction.
Arsene Wenger did it. He went from a nobody team to Arsenal. Remember that? No, that's not big. He was when Wenger joined Arsenal players, like Ray Parlour's openly said this. The players were like, "Who the hell is he and who's he managing?"
Yeah,
he's in Japan, I think.
Yeah, he's in Japanese league.
But basically, what we're saying is that it's few and far between, and is Potter the exception to the rule?
But he's got to give him
time. Definitely.
Exactly. Please.
I do think they should give him more time.
Definitely, yeah. I understand that Chelsea fans are, as Patrick said, they have been spoiled and they are very impatient. And it's like they've got a new toy and they want to have they want to throw it out already and they want another one. But it's a new. I think you've sort of got to accept that you're not the same club that you were last year. You do have a new owner with a different direction. Abramovich was bringing in terms of the players, was bringing in immediate success and immediate players. Bowley's bringing in, I looked at it, you look at the average age profile of the players that Abramovich brought in his first window. It's players in their late 20s and early 30s, the likes of Crespo, etc. This window under Bowley, it's players are in and around sort of 24 and 21 years old. So it's a totally different profile of player. Chelsea in a few years could be a huge, terrifying animal of a club.
Could be. No
manager in the world is going to be able to come into Chelsea, which is a totally different club with a totally different structure and however many different players all thrown in at once, and then you throw in a new manager into the mix at his first big club, and it's not all going to click immediately. Like, this isn't a game of FIFA or Football Manager where you can just throw pieces of a puzzle. So you've got to be patient. And I tell you what, if it's the same time next year. If it's the same time next year, then absolutely you can say, Potter's got to go, because it's still not clicking. But that time has not happened yet. How long has this man had?
I think his personality doesn't help. I think the way, or as everyone likes to say, his aura and the way he presents himself as a Chelsea manager. I'm not saying that he should change and be different, because I don't think it's going to work for him. But as Terry alluded to, as we came onto this Chelsea topic, was that, in my opinion, a car crash of a press conference trying to be something different, trying to save face. I don't know what that was. It didn't land for me. But I think if he was someone, and I know it should be more down to tactics, I know it should be more down to the results on the pitch, but in these kind of moments where you've got 2 wins from 15, the way he's presenting himself, he's not doing himself any favors to his current fans. And I don't know how it would look. I'm not in that Chelsea dressing room, but I said it on the last show. I said, if I'm a World Cup winner, European Cup winner, and I'm seeing the way he presents himself, it seems like he's happy to be there. It could be slightly different behind closed doors, but it doesn't feel like that. I'd be like, what's going on? And are you telling me that there's not any other manager out there that could be doing at least a bit better than what he's doing in this 2 out of 15, and at least build on?
Of course,
that's like normally Colin talks complete and utter rubbish. That's the first time we've actually said anything of actually.
Get out of town! Get out of town!
But it's true though. It's like, my thing though is, these same players, you give it to Luis Enrique, you give it to Aziza. Heck, put me in the dogger. I'm getting more than 2 wins in 15. Put my 10-year-old cousin. She's getting more than 2 wins in 15. So these excuses, like this guy, Patrick, this man opened his mouth and said that Southampton were better prepared than them. That's why Southampton, a team who were bottom, who just sacked the manager, just beat your team 1-0 at home. The issue here is, but this is to you, I don't have time. Okay, I don't have time. Who knows what tomorrow can bring? Tomorrow, aliens could come and invade. So tomorrow, we could be going to Mars and there could be Martians. So this whole thing, like, who knows? The Earth could not be around here next year. So I need to see action now. And here's the thing with the Nobbins. Why are we assuming he's the right guy? this is the thing that just gets me. Why is everyone assuming that Potter is somehow the right guy that he should be given time? What if he's the wrong guy? I always said Tuchel should be sacked. In what stratosphere did we say Potter should take over at Chelsea? No, but do you know what Chelsea is? Bro, I mean, I know you don't know what a UCL trophy looks like. No, but we're talking about CFC. We're talking about Stamford Bridge. We're talking about Florence Trophy. We're talking about those guys. No, but this is real talk. No, don't.
I think you're proving my point, Ari, the spoiled nature of Chelsea fans and the reality check you need to accept. You're proving my point there in what you've just said there.
No, wait, hold up. First of all, I don't need to accept any reality here. Bram puts Chelsea to a level. We should therefore maintain that level. This isn't Ken Bates anymore. The time of Ken Bates, Dennis Wise, Frank Leboeuf, that's in the past. This is not because, do you know what happened to me, Terry? Let me tell you what I was doing this morning. I had some ice cream, I had some cake, I had some caviar, and I was watching John Obi Mikel have an interview. And in this interview, he was talking about how when you saw Bram in his helicopter, it meant that the manager was going to get sacked. He talked about the leaders in that team. He talked about the characters you had. There was a certain standard. The issue I see here is this Bowley group. You're gambling. Who puts down 7-year contracts to these young players hoping they'll do well? What if they won't do well? I think Modric is a flop. I would have been happy for us to take Modric and also take Trossard. So the gambling
games.
That
it's been like 10 games.
That's so reactionary.
Patrick, I know, like, come on, bro.
Patrick, you're talking to a guy like the eye test, man. The eye test is undefeated. So it's like I'm a genius with this kind of stuff. I know my stuff. Patrick, don't ask, just accept what I say. Modric insane.
You're a genius. You're a genius. Remember, everybody, this was Have Hope who said this once upon a time. Messi's here. Eden Hazard's there. Cristiano Ronaldo is through the floor, he said. That's this guy. That's this guy.
I was proven to be right.
I do agree with you, by the way. I changed my mind last weekend. All last week, I was like, no, you got to give him time. That game against Southampton, it changed something in me. It moved me. It had a seismic effect. I looked at it and just thought, this guy can't handle Chelsea. Chelsea are just too big for him. And what I saw in the press conference today, maybe it's confirmation bias. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair. But this just looks like, again, like an embarrassing uncle at a wedding trying to be funny. You know, the uncle who tells a joke, but it's like 15 years too late for that kind of appropriateness. It's like, oh, please don't say that. That's him. This guy is just embarrassing. From the fade to the new suit, the terrible substitutions, not picking the same team.
Oh, man.
Even talking about the senior players told me it was the worst preseason they'd ever had. He may not have meant for it to come out even. Let's just play devil's advocate and be fair and say he may not have meant for it to come out bad. But you don't start bringing up the previous manager's mistakes as to why you're struggling. As soon as you start doing that, you create problems. And I think that those are the kind of dressing room conversations that need to stay as private as possible. And he's just made a massive, massive mistake. And I think Chelsea's too big for him. I think it is Moyes-esque. There has to be, to go from Brighton to Chelsea, there has to be a stepping stone. You need a club that's in between those two. You need
Tottenham.
He needed Tottenham first. He needed Tottenham first, a team that doesn't need to win.
Allow it. You
We all gave examples of managers like Klopp and Wenger that went from small teams to big teams and won. You said Poch. That just proves it's not about winning.
But no. Don't twist what I said. My point was that Pochettino was at Southampton, who obviously are a small team, and then he came to Tottenham and he was doing well there. I'm not saying that he won anything there, but when he was at Tottenham, nobody questioned why he was at Tottenham. He proved my point.
I get you. But even at Chelsea, to do what Poch did isn't good enough because it's about
100%. The levels are different. The standards are different.
So yeah. I think it's a matter in terms of the game this weekend. We're going to come on to the game in a minute. I want to go to some of these super chats first. A lot have come in. I want to be respectful to them. This here says that Chelsea are the new banter club. They are a joke. Right now, I think a lot of people would agree. Have hope. Why don't you want Tata Martino as Chelsea coach?
Because he's not the right guy. No.
The way you answered that, have hope, it sounded like because I don't know who he is.
No, he's Argentine and he used to coach Barcelona. Terry, okay. I know my stuff.
You say that, Sebastian, but we'll see. United must be underdogs, play too many games. No, we're not underdogs, in my opinion, A2, but thank you. Barcelona over Real Madrid, just because those bums are ahead in the Liga, don't mean squat. We won a three-peat with only one league title. We are a standard in Europe, nobody else. I mean, the league table doesn't lie, but okay, my bro, thank you very much. This here says Todd B picked wrong time and person to take a principled stance with in a desperation to change culture. They risk plummeting the biggest club in the world. Okay, that's a little stretch, but you've donated a lot.
No, he's right. No, all facts. Continue.
Anyone that thinks we're spoiled doesn't understand a winning culture.
Nobins, you hear that? You hear that, Nobins?
I'm literally a City fan. Like what?
But
well, yeah,
look,
you bought your
experience
for yours. You don't really, it ain't real.
What did Chelsea do then?
Nobins, we beat them in the UCL final.
That was our fossil fuels and natural gas and oil as well, wasn't it?
Irrelevant
point, Terry.
Hang on.
I've
got no. I didn't. Hang on. I don't have a problem with where your money comes from. I didn't say that you shouldn't spend oil money. I want oil. Listen, I'm sitting here ready to lather myself in some oil from the petrol station when we get full. I've found it. I'm gonna be covered in oil for 2 or 3 days. Don't strike a match near me. I'll set a light. I'm not saying you guys cheat. I'm joking. The more I hear this Tottenham brother, the more I understand why they don't win trophies.
No, Alhambra, you're a bit. You know what?
Patrick, no, Patrick, you're speaking to a Chelsea fan. Respect.
You know what? I'll refrain myself because I just want to. Yeah, I was gonna say something, but because he's super chatted in, I just respect.
Patrick, that's a Chelsea fan.
Even though he's talking rubbish, because I made clear what I meant about Poch, and also give Graham Potter some time, man. If it doesn't work, what's the harm?
I don't have to do anything. Patrick is forward. I don't have to give.
What are Chelsea gonna do for now to the end of the season if they get rid of him or don't get rid of him? So you might as well see how it goes.
My lips. Patrick, read my lips through the internet. I do not want Quidditch at the bridge. What about that? Do you not understand? It's very simple. I don't want Gryffindor, Slytherin, or Hermione at my club. I'm sorry.
This here says I came on the
football terrace.
It's the wrong way around, but yeah, that's why it threw me. The football terrace defending Graham Potter with all the injuries since January. There's no excuses, no long term if you're not showing something in the short term, is what Don says.
I hear that.
The 82+ million needed to sack Potter would take them over FFP limit in this season's accounts. They can't sack him mathematically until the first of. That's the maddest bit. Imagine that's why it's going to be awful. If he knows he's sacked, but they can't do it until the 1st of Jan for accounts reasons, the rest of this season is going to be peak. Because
is that true, Terry? I'm not saying it's true, but could be true?
It could be true because the amount they've got to remember, it's cost them 22 million to get him in. Plus it cost them about 10 million to get rid of Tuchel, 22 million to get him out of Brighton. Sacking him is 50 million flat, plus all of his staff. Jesus then you've got to hire a new manager. You're looking circular 82 to 100 million pounds to bring him
crazy.
in.
That's crazy.
Wait, sorry, you're a banker. Isn't there a banking kind of back alley sideway channel
so again, it depends on the contract. Most managers, when they get sacked, don't get lump sums. You just get paid a salary from that club for until the end of your contract. So David Moyes was still getting paid a weekly salary, a monthly salary by Man United until the summer of 2018. It keeps going like that. Sometimes you get a lump sum. Some of the contracts you keep getting paid your salary until you get a new job. It all depends. They're quite complicated. They're not as basic as just you get paid out that money. But yeah, from Graham Potter's point of view, he's probably sitting there thinking, sack me, I've just got 50 million pounds in the bank. But it's kind of one of them weird. It's like one of those relationships where a husband and wife stay together because they can't afford to get divorced. Do you know what I mean? So they just live separate lives. We'll come back to the Rashford one a bit later. Chelsea fans, as always, just saying they should be winning. Well, I suppose I'd also want to forget the carks. So the carks parked next to the pitch, no trophy time. If I was a Chelsea fan, true. Oh, the cars parked next to the pitch is what you mean. Yeah. Save the bridge. He's talking about the save the bridge days. One of Chelsea's problems is the lack of goals. Real Madrid has been in England once and they have scored 5 more than Chelsea in 2023. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is what it is, man.
And I refuse to believe we are in a title race until we win a trophy and beat Liverpool. If we do those things, also 21 Savage was amazing yesterday. David T, thank you for that super chat about Man United. I appreciate it, bro. We've got a few more here. One set. What does he say? Something.
There might be a termination clause.
Yeah, there could be a termination clause when he mathematically can't make it into the Champions League or something. All these things can exist. I'm on my Adama rating.
That's quite funny.
That's crazy.
We've got a score prediction in there as well. But moving on to the game, because obviously it's a big game in for the Premier League. Chelsea have got to win. Spurs obviously want to take advantage of United not having a Premier League game.
And Newcastle.
And Newcastle. And, you know, sort of cement themselves in this. How do you see it going, Patrick?
I think we'll win. Like I said, I have got PTSD when it comes to Chelsea because regardless of how good or bad they are, they always usually they actually spank us, to be fair. So I've got to be a bit cautious, but I do think that we'll beat them. And yeah, you know what? Sonny's on 98 goals. He needs 2 more to get into the elite 100 Premier League club, and I see him doing it against Chelsea.
How many trophies he's won with that?
All right, listen, we're talking about the game, right?
You know what Spurs remind me of? You know when you go to a restaurant with all your friends, right, and you're doing well in life. You know you order your starter, but you order your mains, and you get you get a nice bit of steak and some chips, but you order some greens for the side, and you order some mac and cheese and some corn on the cob. Spurs, they just order the mac and cheese and the corn on the cob. They get sides only, side dishes only. Sorry.
Listen, we're talking about the game. We're talking about the game. So, Sonny, 98 goals. He's had a stink fest of a season, but it's time to redeem himself. It's redemption time. So, yeah, redemption Sunday. Hoping he gets those 2 goals off the bench. Though I don't want to see him starting. He doesn't deserve to. I say deserve. That's a bit harsh, but I'd prefer him to come off the bench, play himself back into some form, and hopefully Kane has that defense for garters. Koulibaly, I said it in the summer when you signed him, have hope, and all you lot were defending him, that the guy's trash, and you're seeing that now. The guy is not good enough. He was called world class on here, amongst other things. It's time for Kane to put him to school on Sunday. Yeah, it's you know what. Yeah.
Is Conte back on the...
Nah, Stellini's still in charge.
Stellini.
That you'll win then.
Yeah. That's actually, at the moment, that's probably a blessing in disguise. So Stellini takes a handbrake off and he actually plays a bit more on the front foot and he seems to make changes a lot more. He's a bit more adaptive and more reactive to what's going on in the game. He was brave enough to drop Son as well. So yeah, man, I'm excited to go into this game on Sunday. And it gives us a chance. If we win, it gives Newcastle, I know they've got the final, so they won't be thinking about it. But when they come back to the league, it gives them something to think about because we'll be 5 points clear with them.
Yeah, definitely. How do you see it going, Jay? Do you sort of feel like Tottenham will take advantage of this opportunity they've got or not?
I don't know. I don't know. Chelsea are so bad, but I also think like Tottenham are kind of like meh. And mentally, Chelsea have the upper hand on Tottenham sometimes. So I think it'll be closer and more boring. We always think that these games are going to be like fun and exciting, albeit the first game was really exciting. I thought that was going to be like the tasty, of the season, Tuchel versus Conte, and now we don't have any of that anymore. But remember that? It was like
the handshake.
Yeah, there's a handshake, man. I know Tuchel won, man. Tuchel would have beat him up, man.
So I think it's going to be a close game, probably closer than Tottenham would want. But, it'll probably be like 1-0 Tottenham or something like that. Really boring.
I'll take that.
Yeah, but I would prefer, just for the fun, Chelsea to do something. So Mudryk, if you want to start acting like you know what to do, you might want to kick a ball in the back of the net, son. Just this one time. Because I don't want Tottenham to win any games.
Fair enough.
Period.
Fair enough. I hear you.
I like when you come on here and you're sad. Patrick.
I'm not sad. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Like I said, it's a good chance for us to extend that push on Newcastle, because even when they play their next game, if we win, they're still not going to be fourth, which is good.
Yeah.
If they lose their final and then they still got to then think about top four, that could give us the edge. But like you said as well, which worries me, is that no matter where Chelsea are at, they always seem to have something on us, which is like that hoodoo. I don't know, man, but it's time to shake that now. It really is. But no, I'm not sad, man. I'm happy. I'm feeling good, confident-ish, and I'm excited to go into this game.
It's an interesting one for me. Spurs should win. They're better than Chelsea. Chelsea can't score. You don't have Conte, which makes you a better team. And that's just every reason why I think Chelsea are going to win. It's one of those games where you think there's no way Chelsea can do it. They're awful. But it will be the time they turn up and they play. And there'll be, because what will always happen when you've got a manager who's under pressure is invariably they throw in a performance or a game or a win where everybody says, oh, maybe we got it wrong. And I want Chelsea to win because, of course, what I don't want happening is that gap in the top four being closed while we're not playing. Because if we can have a game in hand over you, but you don't close the gap, it's advantage us. So I'm 100% behind Graham Potter and Chelsea this weekend. And I think Chelsea might just do it. I don't think it'll be a pretty game. I think they might do it. Because at some point, even if Potter gets sacked, they've got to have a game where they play well. I've never seen a top team be this bad, this consistently.
Exactly.
Even Arsenal, when they were coming 8th, Man United under Moyes, Man United, even last year, Man United with Rangnick, when it was going awfully, we still, in the midst of it all, played Spurs and beat you 3-2 as an example.
Yeah, that's my fear for Sunday. That's my point. That Chelsea will probably still be crap for the rest of the season, but this game on Sunday is where they turn up and put a performance in. So, yeah, it's annoying. Just, yeah.
I'm probably with Terrace on this, man. Is that it can't get any worse, Like it's been horrible, man.
Can't get any. You say that they beat you 5-0 or something. It really can.
But you see, that's the thing. So like for me, because the owl doesn't deserve this, bro. Like the owl, they did a whole compilation of like
everyone know the owl is, bro.
João Felix. So Felix, like they did like a whole they did a whole compilation of like goals that's for Chelsea's month. So it was one goal, Felix, and that was it. So just keep playing the goal again and again and again. But I just feel that this is the kind of game that Chelsea will somehow win. Like everything is so in Tottenham's favor. They're at home. They're playing a lot better. Chelsea are out of form. And especially because it's Tottenham and it's a rival, I think Chelsea will raise the game. And also, I'm saying this right now on the terrace, if Quidditch loses this game, especially in a specific manner, I'll sack him. I'll go down and I'll sack him my mom. Hey, Patrick, I didn't crack it. I don't know why you're laughing. I didn't actually crack a joke. I didn't crack a joke. I don't know why you're laughing, but I mean, if Chelsea lose and they go badly, you'll see a bald black guy with shades at the stadium handing that guy his
P45.
And turning up like an anemic shaft to get rid of him. Do you know what I mean?
Anemic shaft, So you got a long trench coat.
Yeah. He has got a long black leather.
I've got the coat here,
he does have that coat. He does.
Yeah, they keep calling me Morpheus and Blade, man. So yeah, if I'm Morpheus and Blade, I'll be like Morpheus and Blade and give that guy his P45.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting one Sunday. A nice game actually for me to get rid of the nerves before the cup final. We'll be in the studio for that, so I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited indeed to see what will happen. Score predictions. I'm going to go to Jessica Black first. What's the score going to be? Chelsea versus Tottenham.
1-0 Spurs.
1-0 Spurs. What you saying, Patty?
2-0 Spurs. Sonny with both goals.
Pauline?
I think it's going to be a 2-1 Chelsea,
No.
I think genuinely, I think Tottenham should win. Everything in my body's like Tottenham should win, but that's the reason why you're going to lose, and you're going to be the reason why Graham Potter stays in the job. You're going to be the reason why Have Hope loses more hair. That's the way it's going to be. So there we go.
Nobbin?
I'm going to go 1-0 Spurs. I'm just going to defend Graham Potter one more time just before.
You just start cutting people's mics, man.
I mean, what is this obsession with Potter? You got a crush on him? Did you send him a Valentine?
I love Graham Potter. Yeah, I love him. I want him to be when he was at Brighton, I wanted to be future England manager. I love that man. I love what he did at Ostersunds and Brighton. He's my boy. But yeah, anyway, I believe I might be getting this wrong. I think it was Guardiola who said something like, "It's my job to get my players in front of goal. It's then the player's responsibility to convert from there." Something along those lines. Since Potter's come into the Chelsea job, I believe that Chelsea are either first or second in terms of expected goals created. Now that tells me that Potter needs a proper actual striker and clinical finishers before we can actually properly judge him. So I just wanted to say that.
Come on, that's what they said at Brighton for like a long time, and Deserby came straight in, and they started scoring loads of goals.
Who did Brighton have up front? The mighty Morpay and Glenn Murray.
But Brighton don't have any good striker up there now.
Exactly.
They're the same type of player.
Exactly. And Brighton and Chelsea are the two clubs since Potter's taken over who have generated the most XG. So that proves the point.
Why don't they put it in the back of the net though?
Because they don't have a proper striker up front. That's my point.
Okay, well, XG is a fake stat.
Amazing.
No, it's still that. Yeah, but like, look, man, I'm old school, man. All this whole XG, X2, X3, X4. Look, use the eye test. Use the eye test. The eye test is undefeated.
The problem is, though, bro, if you wear shades indoors, you can't see shit, bro. You know what
when I watch games, I don't watch football matches with shades.
You told the world Rashford would never score more than 20 goals. He's about to do it for the third time in 4 years.
Oh yeah, Terry, weren't you the guy that said that Rashford was as good as Mbappe, or would be better than Mbappe? Remember that?
No, that's not what I said. I remember what I said in that stream. When that was just after Jose got sacked, and I think he'd scored like 5 goals in 6 games. And we were on a stream, and I said, right now he's in Mbappe level form, is what I said. I remember that stream. I did not say he was as good as. I've never said he is as good as Mbappe.
Can I give him a prediction?
What I did say about Rashford is that he has the ability to go into the category of Premier League legends that holds the greats. If he was to score, I think he'll score enough goals. If he can win the trophies, he's got the ability to get there. That's what I said. When he was 18, I said that. But anyway, go on. Do your predictions anyway, bro. Go on.
All right. Since Alina stole my prediction, because I was going to say 2-1, I don't want to have the same prediction. So I'm going to say, you know what? Patrick, we're going to have a feast, man. It's going to be 3-2 to Chelsea.
Jeez. I hope I'm going to go.
Teams are not scoring 5 goals.
Yeah, can you? Well,
be for real.
JB, it's a new day. JB, it's a Sunday. Sunday is the day of rediscovery.
So we know that there's going to be a lot of howlers.
No. JB, Sunday is the day of rediscovery.
Good football.
Jay, you're not going to understand this. Jay, you're not going to understand this analogy, but London buses. And London buses means in London, something you wait for a bus, and one don't come for ages. It's late, but then like 2 or 3 turn up at once. The same bus. It's mad, right? That happens a lot in England. That is what could happen this weekend. We've been waiting for like these teams to score a few goals, but they could all come in one game. It sometimes happens, but I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. That's my prediction, and more hope than anything else. I'm going 2-1 Chelsea. There's some more super chats here. First one says, "Oh, hang on a minute. Oh. Bottom left, defensively jumps at everything." HH says, "You two have history."
Unfortunately, not. I've tried. I've tried with her phone. He just keeps knocking me back.
And I'm sure Patrick will know. She's just a bully. And just says stuff just to piss people off. So basically, cyberbullying is real.
What viewers have to understand about Have Hope is his real name is Sebastian. He's also an asexual, so he doesn't.
Okay, look. First of all, no, it's not.
That is 1000% correct.
Do I look like a Sebastian?
Yes.
Nobody looks more like a Sebastian than I do.
What does that even mean?
No, I think you look like a Sebastian.
Bro, it's funny.
I don't look like a Sebastian.
Hang on a minute. Judge, really funny. He says, how dare you call me Sebastian? Man said nothing about being called asexual. Do you know what I'm saying?
Because I didn't hear the comment.
Wow. You heard it first. Have
Look,
hope.
I'm a mystery, man.
AA. Call it AA these days. There we go. Back five, Silva, Badashila, Fofana, James, and Chilwell. I mean, that is actually pretty good. That should be doing bits.
Sounds good on paper, yeah. Sounds good on paper.
Bison here says, if Potter is like AVB, then Tuchel is like Roberto Martinez, living... You mean Roberto Di Matteo, but we hear you. Living off of a Champions League win. Potter might not be the right man, but Tuchel was also not good enough, is what Bison Beast has got to say here. You should not be excited to play Chelsea at home. You'll shamelessly play, what does that say? Catenaccio tactics in front of your fans. Does that mean park the bus in Italian?
It's like Italians counter-attacking.
Yeah. We cannot lose. See you Sunday is what Al's got to say. Thank you for another brilliant super chat, Al. It's funny. Me and Jess were listening to Talk Sport actually on the way home from London on Wednesday. And Darren Bent and Andy Goldstein were talking. And they were like naming football tactics. And Darren Bent had to say whether they're real or not. And some of them are really out there, like positional names or tactics. And he was getting most of them right. And Darren Bent obviously played professional football for 20 odd years, but he said he learned the names of all these tactics, not through being a professional footballer, through playing computer games. So it just goes to show that tacticos online, when they talk about football, have no football knowledge. They just play computer games. Do you know what I'm saying? That's like somebody pretending to know about being a doctor by playing the game Operation. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a madness. It's a madness.
Well, no, but people can fly playing that flight simulator game. So
yeah, they are not. Yeah, but they're not going to get a job for British Airways. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to take them seriously. Have hope. I make fun of you because you'll be back next season. But that being said, I'm booking your parking spot for the eventual conference league game in the car park. Is what David T says here.
No.
This comment here says, hi, Terry, 15-year-old from South Africa. Well, thank you for watching. A big fan. I appreciate that. I just wanted to ask when the studio's back. So the studio's back this Sunday. I'm feeling well enough to go in right now. So fingers crossed it remains. But then we won't be there for a month. We're going to be in a different location for a month because we are moving to a different location. But it's like a month period where we're basically homeless. Not literally, just for studio-wide. But we'll be at a few different locations in London over March for the Champions League games and a few big matches as well. So the studio stuff is returning, but to be honest with you, I've not been very well since Christmas, so I've just been trying to get myself back to full fitness, but it's on its way soon. It's on its way soon. Smash the like and share button, people. Remember, we are sponsored by our friends at NordVPN today. Scan that QR code above Jess's beautiful head to check out their current range of deals, or click on the link in the description below. Now, this weekend is also a big one for City and Arsenal. They're not playing juggernauts. They're not in massive games. But last weekend was epic in so many ways. Arsenal's comeback, City dropping points inexplicably. Again, as I've been saying to Nobbins, or I should call you Bobbins, really, when it comes to City. You guys ain't the same team this year. Arsenal have almost got back their advantage again. They play their game in hand on Wednesday, so they can go 5 points clear with two wins in the next couple of games. Before we get into the title race and what's going to happen, there's been some big news for Arsenal this week. Firstly, Bukayo Saka's new deal has been agreed in principle. They're just waiting to sign it, but it's essentially done. And big reports in the early part of the week that Declan Rice has agreed to personal terms to join Arsenal in the summer. Both deals are going to be for £200,000 a week. Arsenal seemingly doing some really good business ahead of sort of, keeping Saka at the club, making him one of the highest paid players at the club and in the league, but also starting to take care of next season already. You must be quite impressed with that, Colleen.
Oh my God, it feels like so long. It feels like so long where I'm consistently happy with where we are in the league, how our transfer business is going, us keeping players. Literally, I can't complain. The last, 6 months? I've not even donned a frown on here. I've come up here smug every single time, and long may it continue. And I don't want to go too early though with because I'm still very critical of the Cronkies, if I'm being honest. Like, okay, we're doing very well, but until we're consistently, challenging and winning Premier Leagues and staying in Europe, that's when I'll get my foot off their neck, if you like. But these kind of extensions for Saka, Martinelli, and fingers crossed, Saliba, and these kind of talks around Rice, around in the summer, whether it happens or not, it's that sign of intent, the same with the sign of intent that we had in January. It's very, very positive, and I hope that continues. But yeah, I'm very, very happy. Edu seems to be doing what he needs to be doing in this respect, because he has been getting a lot of flack, you know, in this day and age of social media as well, where you now kind of hear everything around transfers, contracts, you know, fans really get onto things quite quickly and make their judgments very quickly. And it's just one of those things. So I think he will do well to do that, but I don't want to praise the Arsenal, you know, powers that be too much just yet. We can probably have a better conversation about this in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, listen, I think the Saka deal is the interesting one for me, because I feel like as a rival, this is a different Arsenal approach. And what I mean by that is, I know that you gave big deals to Ozils and Aubameyangs, but that was players at the end of their contracts when the team wasn't at the peak of its powers or moving towards the peak. Back after the invincible season, during the noughties, when City got money, the amount of times Arsenal fans are culpable in this, because you're culpable when you allow the PR bullshit to fool you. Just like Chelsea fans at the minute that believe that Bowley isn't thinking at the very least about sacking Graham Potter. Anyone that thinks that, I think, is deluded. The owners are always looking at options. They have to. It would be stupid not to. But Arsenal would build up a player, a Samir Nasri, Fabregas, whoever it may be. And then when the big clubs came knocking and were offering the, you know, back then it was slightly less money, but football's grown since then. They're offering 100 grand a week or 150 grand a week. To keep that player, it would break the wage structure, or it would mean the wage structure would have to increase, or the wage pot would have to increase. And quite often Arsenal would say no to that, and they'd sell him. And there was always, you know, oh yeah, but it's the right thing to do. We don't want a massive wage bill. We back the manager. It's the correct decision. And it never was for Arsenal. History shows us that, because they stopped winning leagues, and nearly every single one of those top players that left went on to win multiple major trophies in various countries. So I think this marks the change of direction significantly for Arsenal, in that they're saying Saka is, you could argue, he's the best right-sided attacker in the Premier League. I can't think of anyone who's out and out better than him, probably barring Mo Salah over the last few years. But this season, I think Saka's been the best, and he's one of the best in the league overall. And you've got to keep him. But the only way you keep Bukayo Saka is if you pay him the market rate. And 200 grand plus has to happen. So if I'm a Gooner right now, you've got to drop this BS about wage bills got to be kept low, because you can't keep your wage. I think you've got the 5th highest, maybe the 6th highest wage bill in the league. If you guys start winning Premier Leagues, start competing for Champions Leagues, and you want to stay there, your wage bills will eventually match the majority of the other teams. It will grow. It has to. Otherwise, you'll lose Sakas, you'll lose Martinellis, you'll lose Salibas, and then you'll go back to where you were. So as a Gooner, if I was a Gooner, and as Gooners, you should be very, very happy with that deal. And the same with Declan Rice. We know that personal terms doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen 110%. But the fact that he's willing to come, and it looks like you've offered him a significant salary, for me, that shows that your owners and the club are properly backing the manager. And you're not just building a team that can win in the here and now. You're building a team that they want to see continue winning in the future, which is something Liverpool didn't do enough of. And we've seen how they've fallen off through not doing that. So listen, I think what Arsenal are doing is, I do like using the phrase. It's my phrase. What they're doing is scary, legit.
I'm just looking at Patrick's face during all that. I can just see your heart slowly breaking away as Devon gets a 500k pay rise.
I love how everybody just kind of switched off and got like all like, yeah, because it wasn't too long ago where everybody was, you're gonna lose Saka, you're gonna lose this player, you're not gonna have this player anymore. Man City are calling, he's staying. It was never really in doubt. Like, he's staying, and it also shows that like Arsenal are just moving in the right direction, doing the right things. Never really paid players like this before, young players with like a lot of talent and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is just kind of like the beginning. We were saying this in the chat the other day where I was like, this is just kind of like the beginning. Arsenal are nowhere near where they're going to be. We haven't even, according to everybody, we don't even have world-class players. When Saka and Saliba and these guys hit final form and we add a little Basmati Rice in there and a couple other
According
players.
to a gal, everyone's world class. A gal literally calls your whole starting 11
I can
world
just feel
class.
the soul.
Well, it's better than what you have. So
according to
wait, hold on, JB. So wait, the beginning of what? I just want to just be clear. The beginning of what exactly? Like, it says the beginning of what? Like, of dominance or winning trophies?
Yeah, winning trophies. I mean, we're literally challenging for the Premier League with and a cone man, right? Hello.
Oh no, yeah, I think you just cut off briefly.
Well, we're here. That's all I was really saying. We're gonna win trophies. Like
no, but because it's like it's the beginning. Because I'm saying like, so are you guaranteeing me that Arsenal are going to be winning multiple trophies? Because when I use the term to speak fluent trophy, like speaking fluent trophy, which is what Chelsea did for the best part
fluent
of the
trophy.
Yeah, no, fluent trophy is what Chelsea did for the best.
What is this?
Of a decade. So I'm saying is that. Are you going to just speak trophy in very basic, broken terms as in a trophy every once every 5 years? Or is it like, okay, every single year you're going to be winning trophies? Because let's be real right now.
Well, okay. I get what you're trying to say. Like, you want to get me to say that we're going to do this and that and the third. I think what we're trying to build can win multiple trophies and compete at the highest level. And I felt like that for a while now. You know, we just have a couple of pieces that are missing. We needed to tie down Saliba and Saka and Martinelli, and we have a manager. So we have a great manager as well. So yeah,
how much was Martinelli's deal in terms of like the weekly figures?
I don't know, like 190k per week.
I don't think it was as high. I don't think it was high as Saka's, but it was like close, like they're near and nearabouts, something like that.
Fair enough.
No. Okay. So my thinking, look. What?
Okay, Patrick. Hello. Wait. Hold on. What was that? Excuse me.
190k for Martinelli. That's
who's about to win the Premier League.
And what's he done? You lot are screaming for him to be dropped. Like Trossard now, according to your fans.
Who's screaming? Jesse, he's screaming for
him. Your
fan base.
He needed a rest. Yeah, he needed a rest. Martinelli has never. Okay, so let me just clear this up. Martinelli has never played a full season for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm. You're giving him 190k.
Because he's been phenomenal for the most part of the season.
No,
he's one of the best young players in the
world. Yes, he has.
He's been okay. Come on, let's not do this. He's been
when it's been him and Jesus.
Spurs don't have the pockets, Patrick.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. I just wanted to know how much you are paying him because he has.
Just you know what? Just let him have it. You know they've got a lot of salt right now. You know things aren't going their way. Daniel Levy's lining his pockets. You know
Saka,
Terrace is probably on his way out soon. It's all right. Leave him.
You know, there's been players that have been good, but Martinelli, the jury's out.
Have you checked Martinelli's stats though? Martinelli, even though he's not playing at his top level, he's still getting goals and assists.
Yeah, he's like on top three.
No, let's be real. Like since the World Cup, before the World Cup, I have been saying, no, Martinelli, this guy's a damn good player. And even before the World Cup, I was saying that Martinelli, I would argue that he can push for a start at the World Cup. Now his form has gone down, but I've always been a fan of Martinelli. Before the World Cup, I was like, no, this is a quality player. This is a quality player.
This is like the thing. It's like so you have players like Son, Salah, like older players that are they've been in the league for a long time and they go in and out of form. Do you really think like a 21-year-old is not going to go in and out of form in his first full season for Arsenal? Like I do see like there's this element of, oh, well, Martinelli, he's been sensational this season. He's just going through a dip in form. He'll come back. Like,
no, I don't. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think he's a good player, but I just wanted to know how much you're paying him, just so I could understand.
Why are you pocket watching?
I just wanted to know. That's it.
I'd love to know how much Højbjerg and Denmark.
I just wanted to know. That's all.
The thing is, I get what Patrick's doing. He's having a bit of fun, but equally, this is the one thing about football fans I don't understand. I don't find it embarrassing if we overpay for a player per se. Like if they don't work out and they flop, it's like it's a little bit of an L. But it's like at least my club's got the money to do that, bro. For me, it's never an issue. I find it more embarrassing when clubs celebrate their teams not spending money. That's weird to me. Me and my dad nearly came to blows over an argument once. I asked him, because it was one of these moments where I was sitting in his garden because I was in between houses. I sold my house and the new house I was buying weren't ready. And I didn't want to create a long chain. So I let the people buy my house and I went live with my dad for like 6 weeks. And I was sitting in the garden having a beer with him one day. I said, Dad, like, would you rather, like, because he kept on talking about how good Spurs' net spend was and it was winding me up. So I was like, Dad, like, would you rather have like plus 300 million net spend and win the league twice in a row and win a Champions League? Or like your net spend is like brilliant, like you've made a profit of 200 million, but you don't win anything. He went, but just keep playing pretty football. And he went, oh, I'd much rather not spend anything and play pretty football and do it that way and develop some youth and everything else. And it was in my dad's house, is why I didn't get to both. I just said, fuck off, you loser. Because for me, like, that's a lose. I couldn't, it wound me up. I was like, what? He's celebrating not spending money for? Like, our club's goals are not to be the most profitable football clubs. Like, the team's the most profitable team in the Premier League, got the best net spend in the Premier League, and you ain't winning anything, you're a loser.
To be honest, but
you're a loser.
I get it.
It's like having all the money in the world and having all the pretty things in the world, but no one you love around you to share it with. That's the equivalence of having good net spend but no trophies.
100%.
Arsenal, I'm not going to put you, Patty. I'm just saying in general. If Arsenal chuck 200 grand a week at all their young players to keep them at their club, and they all stay for another 5 or 6 years, and they add Declan Rice's and stuff on top, they're winning major trophies and or challenging every year. The reason Arsenal fell off is because they did the complete and utter opposite for 15 fucking years. The idiots here are the Arsenal fans that want to act, oh no, but we shouldn't do that. Let's not break the wage structure. Let's not break net spend rules. Fuck off, you dickheads. That's why you went backwards. You fucking morons. Spend the money. Just spend it wisely.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, my whole point, I think my thing though with Arsenal though is like, let's see what happens at the end of the season. Because they're doing well, they're playing well, they're ahead and so forth. But I feel that we should actually wait until we see what they do, because you can never really predict the future. Because my thing though is, this seems as if this is something that is now being built, but what if this is a one-season wonder? What if next season Arsenal now becomes 6th or 7th? Like, what if, like, oh wow, you just had an amazing season, but Arteta couldn't really maintain? Look, Jamie, like you can roll your head, but I'm just saying that
it's not likely though. Looking at how they've been running, I hear you, but it's not.
This is probably what they said at the end of last season. Like, well, let's see, because they missed out on top 4, and this might be
Newcastle are coming.
Like,
and he's got a point. I don't agree with what he's saying. He's got a point, because it could happen. It could be a flash in the pan.
No one can predict.
Do you really think a team that's been? Wait, hold on. Do you guys really think a team that's been performing consistently,
but he has got a point.
18 months is a flash in the pan? Like, our form has been like this for a while, but now we've cut out some. Since November of last season.
So JB, so are you saying that a scenario can exist where Nobens's striker somehow gets in the form, and actually Pep actually uses his brain and actually plays to Haaland, City end up winning the league? That affects Arsenal psychologically.
Have hope. But listen, if, you know, like, if my uncle, right, had a vagina, he'd be my auntie, wouldn't he? Do you know what I mean? Like,
he stole us from the office, Terry.
You're acting as though this is the end of this group. Like, this is a team that nobody had in the top 4, that even when we started playing well, they said probably will finish in the top 4, and is now pushing for a title. Why would that hurt them psychologically when they're overperforming now and playing like they're playing really well? Like, what do you mean?
JB, it's the pain. It's the pain. JB,
kids don't feel the same pain as the older players. They don't. No, they don't. Because if that were the case, we'd be in 8th right now. These are a lot of the same players from last season. So what are you saying?
No, okay.
They should have been dead and buried last season because they missed out on top 4 because of the pain.
Let me paint a scenario. These are young kids. Last day of the season.
Could we not say the same to you, Hope, though? Because you've just, as the argument. You guys just used the argument saying that Chelsea have just brought in a bunch of young players as well.
That was the argument. We're talking about.
Wait. Because I know what you're saying is, because, you know, they're young and the pain, but could you not say the same argument for you guys, saying that you just brought in a bunch of young players? If you guys finish 10th, 9th, that's going to affect them and not going to be able to kick on. You could use the exact same argument to literally any other young side in Europe.
Alina Posey.
No? Before I was rudely interrupted.
Alina who? Sorry, Alina who?
That's her name. No, because if you're going to call me Sebastian, I'm calling you Terrace, and I'm calling her Alina. So that's
your name is Sebi, though. Your name is Sebi.
No. So okay. Can I just paint a scenario? Last day of the season, Arsenal and City can both win. Arsenal, they're winning, and everything's going good. Then they concede. Guess what? The Norwegian James Bond villain, he drops a 3-piece in the last 2 minutes. City win on the last day. They're crying. They're depressed. We were so close, and the fans are crying. Everything is going mad.
I want to sign up to the series you're watching right now. This finale sounds amazing.
Sorry, but this is the same thing you guys did last season. You guys did this last season too. The hypotheticals, and they're never going to come back from this. The pain, the suffering. Go into the summer, and we'll buy more players in the positions that people think we're still weak in. And what's funny is like it's mostly coming from is like the London side. So I know.
I haven't said nothing about this. I'm not.
Chelsea have always been the biggest team in London.
You sat there. You said, "I can see what he's saying. I can see what he's doing." It's I understand.
Patrick's an enabler. He's like, yeah, go on, do it.
Like
do it.
This is so bad, you guys.
No, come on. No, but don't you agree? No, but can't you psychologically scar Arsenal? Because here's the thing, though. When City beat Arsenal, I thought, okay, this is it. The slide begins. Then, no, but for some reason, you decided to drop points against the king of Sherwood Forest.
I decided that personally.
So my thing,
Arsenal
though,
also decided to win a game, though. It wasn't just because Man City didn't beat
I think, to be honest, Hafo, I think it's probably more likely the opposite's going to happen. This is Arsenal, one of the youngest sides in the division. I think, if anything, it's going to if they somehow lose the title, I think if anything it would galvanize them and they'd actually kick on and improve next season rather than the scenario you're envisaging.
Oh, you see, no, but you're just trying to be nice.
Yeah,
so why do I have to be the bad guy?
Why do
I have to be the bad guy?
He's not being nice. He's speaking the truth. There's a super chat here that speaks the truth as well. It says, "What is Patrick on about? You pay Terrace 180k a week and Romero 165k a week. Bro, remove the login your eyes first."
No, I don't understand. To be fair, like I don't know why he's getting so wound up. I was actually just messing around. Just wanted to know how much you got paid. Romero's a good player, so I don't understand.
No, I agree. I don't see, if Arsenal don't win the league this year, I just don't see this massive fall off because they're so stable. Like Arsenal are stable right now. Manager, club, they're already planning the summer moves. You know, Liverpool have kind of fallen off because of a lack of investment, and Arsenal are not doing that. Yeah, City aren't quite as good as they were last year, but they're not falling off. They'll be back competing next year. The only team that's really Liverpool, the only team that's really fallen off this year. Like you've very rarely the big teams challenge the titles, and then the following year they fall away. Leicester did, but comparing Arsenal and Leicester is so disingenuous. It's unbelievable. We can do it for banter and we can all have a laugh and a joke, but in reality, no, like Arsenal were going Arsenal still winning the league. And I told most, but barring Colin's one of the only Terrace facing gooners that I give respect to on this. She didn't lose her shit after losing against Man City and still said they're going to win the league. And I still think they will. And we saw how scared City are of Arsenal and this pressure they're putting on them. They've drawn 2 games since that win and looked, for me, in the second, like average at times, especially against Leipzig in the week, like in the second half, awful. Again, another disaster class performance from Luke Chadwick on the left-hand side. And every week, he's got, mate, there's a name, right, for building.
This agenda has to end.
It's not an agenda, I'm speaking facts, right? Agenda, no, it's not cap. It's not cap, bro. It's not cap. Not even flat cap for you, posh boy. Like, what I'm saying is... You've got a northern accent, but you're one of those posh northerners, isn't it? Man's definitely got to shoot a hunting gun and whippets. Definitely. Do you know what I mean?
Oh God.
And have you got a tweed jacket?
Oh, I wish.
A green one with checks on it. No, I'm only joking, bro. But he had another one of those games, Jack Grealish, where he dribbled a lot. He did a lot of things that looked good. But what came at the end of it? Fuck all. That's for me. But the point I'm making is it's another game where City just weren't good enough. And for me, I know people keep saying, but they might come good. We're running out of that. We're a handful of games away from being in the last 10 matches. And so people keep saying they're going to go on
They need to come good.
People keep saying they could win 10-15 on the bounce. Well, that has to start this weekend and not lose for the rest of the season because they're running out of games. Arsenal are winning this league. They won't go 5 points clear this week. I think both teams will win. But Arsenal are winning this Premier League. They're going to smash Everton on Wednesday. They're going to go 5 points clear. No, I can say that. That's Everton at the Emirates. They've got a chance, Everton. There's always a chance. There's a puncher's chance in every game. But Arsenal against Everton at the Emirates, after they beat Leicester this week, and Leicester are not that good. You just got to Leicester start games fast at the moment. You just got to be defensively resolute, and they'll grind Leicester down this weekend, Arsenal. It'll be a hard game for Arsenal this weekend. But then when they go against Everton at the Emirates Wednesday night, they'll smash them. 2 or 3 goals minimum. They'll be 5 points clear. And then you will see the knees and really start to shake of Man City. You really
so are we all saying that Arsenal are definitely winning the league then this year?
I've been saying that.
Not definitely, but I think they are.
No, okay. So my thing here is that I said it was City to begin with, and I'm still keeping with City because it is what it is. It's just the experience. I feel that once Pep Guardiola stops trying to be like a pinky and the brain mad genius and just plays to Haaland, I realize that you've got a tree trunk. You can't make a tree trunk Benzema or Jaws. If he plays to the tree trunk and plays to the tree trunk strength, he has 26 goals in like 24 games. So if he plays to his strengths, boom. So Nobbins, pick up your phone, tell Lep, play to the striker's strengths. He's going to score those goals. And then I think that City win this title. Although it's going to be close though.
I'd love that to be true. I'll get on the phone to Pep right now.
Okay.
You don't believe it, do you? Do you, Nobbins? You don't believe it. See, every City fan, every week you've got less and less confident, even after beating Arsenal.
Yeah, my sort of confidence scale went up to sort of like 60%. Arsenal will win the league after City beat Arsenal. But then it was the Aston Villa victory, and it wasn't even necessarily the victory. It was the manner in which it happened. It was the fact that they came back, and I think that is going to galvanise them mentally. And then City somehow dominated Forest and dropped points. So yeah, I just don't see City putting that sort of run together this season.
But you better win the UCL, man. That's what I'm saying though, because like you can't spend the money of a state and 3 countries and only give me 1 UCL final, which Pep you lost to my boy.
The fact that Pep brought it up, Pep knows what we're saying on Twitter. He's like, oh, everyone's putting pressure on me. The pressure on you guys to win that is crazy.
It's mad. No, but they have to. No, but Terrace, they have like you basically.
I'm in no rush, personally.
Well, you better be.
Why?
This team won't be considered a great team without it. Every other great team in the history of football has a Champions League.
But as a City fan, I think it's fair to say that City are probably going to win it sooner rather than later. I'm personally not in a rush.
No, but I think, well, according to Pep, I think the thing with Pep, that I think he does need this because everyone views Pep that you are only relevant because of Messi, and you've only won the UCL because of Messi, and you can't be with City spending the trillions that you've spent all through these years.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Have hope?
Do I believe what?
Do you believe that what you just said then, that Pep needs Messi, etc.?
Pep needs Messi to win a UCL. Yes.
Does Messi need Iniesta to win a UCL?
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
I'm asking you a question. Messi's never won a Champions League without Iniesta.
2018-2019, Messi literally did everything he could to win that UCL, and what happened was a miracle upon miracles that stopped him from winning that UCL in 2018-2019. So Pep hasn't come close. And what's so crazy is that UCL final against Chelsea, Pep lost it for you guys. The reason why Chelsea won, yes, of course, Tuchel's tactics, but Pep, trying to be a mad genius, he actually lost it for you guys. So I think that it is a far greater indictment of Pep without Messi than Messi without Iniesta.
I don't agree that we should be judging a manager by whether they can win a knockout tournament or not. Fergie won it twice in his extensive tenure. I don't think anyone's even begun to contemplate whether he underperformed in Europe.
See, the argument for me isn't Pep doesn't need to win it with City to prove he's great. His City team need to win it to be a great team. So it's not about, and I also agree with your point. City will win it at some point. So as a fan, if Pep don't do it, somebody else will. But for this City team to ever go into a conversation with the great Ajaxes, great AC Milans, Man United, Liverpool's, Barca's, Real Madrid's, all those teams had Champions League trophies. It doesn't matter what domestically, you'll be remembered forever. But to be in the true great category, which surely is what everybody aims for. Nobody aims to be in the category below. Everyone aims to be the best. You've got to add that Champions League. And you guys are a trophy away from genuinely being in the conversation for being the greatest English team of all time. Without it, though, you can't talk to the Liverpool teams of the 70s and the 80s and Man United in the 90s and again in the noughties, because they won multiple Prems, domestic trophies, and the Champions League, and you need it. So it isn't about Pep's greatness isn't under scrutiny here, as far as I'm concerned. And City will at some point win one, but it's about this crop of players, the KDB, being maybe the linchpin of it. They have to win it because the greatest of the greatest teams have. And surely you want to be part of that conversation with the Milans, the Bayern Munichs, the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools, the Barças, the Real Madrids. Surely you want to dine on that table with us.
Yeah, it would be stupid to say I don't want to win it, but I just don't think it's the be-all and end-all. Just on that point, do you think that Klopp's Liverpool is a greater side than Guardiola's City in that case? If you're saying that a great team needs a Champions League,
no, because they haven't. It's a combination of things. So it's about all those teams I've mentioned were very dominant or won heavily domestically, plus they had European success. Liverpool won one Prem and one Champions League, which is great, but they're not a great team because they didn't dominate their own country. So those other teams did in those periods. Barca's team that won it twice with Pep, they were winning their league, they were winning their domestic trophies, they were winning their Champions League. Man United in '99, you know what we did? Not only did we do a treble that year, we did a three-peat in the English game as an example. So, Liverpool in the 70s and 80s, they won the league most years. They had seasons where they nearly won trebles. They won FA Cup doubles. They did all this. I don't think they actually ever did an FA Cup league double, but they won the league title and the Champions League in one year. Man United stopped them doing a treble. So Liverpool didn't do that. It's for me, you're in a really unique position that I want Man United to get back into, where I'd love in the next 5 years for us to win 3 of the Prems, 2 or 3 domestic trophies plus, and then a Champions League, because then that's another team from your club that goes into that category of royalty in European football. And I'm very particular. For me to go into that category, you've got to have ticked all those boxes of trophies, because you shouldn't be in it if everybody else has achieved them. And I think City are 1 trophy away from joining the best of this team. And I mean this as a United fan. I would legitimately call you one of the greatest teams of all time. And you go into a list that for me in 100 years will be spoken about. A team in 100 years that will be mentioned, because Milan's will, Ajax's will, Liverpool's will. Surely you'd want to join that and sort of cement yourself, not just in national or local history, but in global football history, the elites. It's so important, in my opinion.
Actually, can I just on that, just a question to the panel? I mean, anyone can answer. Would you consider the Real Madrid team one of the greatest teams? So they only won the league title twice in a 10-year period, but they won the UCL 4 out of 5 times. Would you consider them a great team?
Yes.
Yes, because that's a feat. Again, that's a feat which is so... It's so spectacular to do that. They have to go into that category. And by the way, they were up against a Barcelona team that also won the Champions League in that period, I believe, in 2015. Yeah. So that's where you have to look at it for what it is. That was a brilliant Barca and Real Madrid team going toe-to-toe in their league. And look what they both won collectively. You could argue they both go into those great categories. So yeah, I would say so, definitely.
I just think that there are many examples of great teams that haven't necessarily won a Champions League, that's all. Obviously, you'd like to win it, but I just don't think it's the be-all and end-all, that's all.
No, but you need that, because I think what Terry's point is to really be seen as that definitive great team. Is it that you've done... That's why I use the Real Madrid example, because even if they underachieved in the league, what they did in the Champions League was so exceptional, because no one had ever defended their title ever, and they did it twice. That's what's making it exceptional. But I think Terry's point is, to see a great team, you've got to say what's up on both fronts, i.e. domestically and in the Champions League, because that league is about a marathon. And are you able to sort of run that marathon and pretty much be dominant in the marathon? Champions League is the best of the best of the best against the elite players, against the elite teams. It's like what United did in '99. The teams they had to face, the managers they had to face, and what they had to do, that's what it was an amazing feat, whilst also beating Arsenal in the FA Cup and in the league as well. Yeah. So that's Champions League. It's important.
It's the pictures, the videos, the clips. They're what's played for it. It's what I always talk about Harry Kane in this regard. Harry Kane can score another 1,000 goals. If there's no pictures of him lifting trophies, the older he gets, listen, the Tottenham will always remember him. But look at Alan Shearer as an example. We all know who he is because he's named at the top of the goal scoring record. But how often are Alan Shearer's greatest moments in the Premier League played? He only had he had 1 year where he won the Premier League, Blackburn. You occasionally see a picture of that. But if he'd have had 5 or 6 seasons at Man United where he should have gone, where he's scoring winning goals, winning Premier Leagues, FA Cups, Champions Leagues, he would be a global legend, not just a domestic one. And I'm talking, and I'm thinking big here. Maybe I've got my Man United brain on, and I just view it. I look at, there's something that Bruno Fernandes said this week that made me love him even more. Rio Ferdinand showed him all these stats for every season he's been at United and said, which one has been your favorite season? And he said, I don't have a favorite season. Not yet. We haven't won a trophy yet. He said, all of that means nothing without a trophy. And I'm like, that is where winning is done. Hopefully. If he ends up with no trophy, he weren't good enough. And I'll say it. But Bruno had a season for Man United where he scored more goals from midfield than any other player that's ever played football in England in a single season. But he didn't win a trophy, so no one gives a fuck. That's for me how it should be. And I just have those standards when it comes to it's all about the trophies. But listen, as I say, I don't think Pep needs to win a Champions League to prove he's a good manager. I think he's definitely done that. I think he's great. I don't like the slander he gets, to be fair. This here says, Jess and Colleen, thoughts on Saliba's contract?
I think it's only a matter of time. There's quotes out from him today that saying that he wants to win everything with Arsenal. So, I think it's just a matter of time. Obviously, I think he'll be on the same type of money as Saka and Jesus, but he deserves it. And I don't know about Colleen, but I feel like, I hate doing this with our players, but sometimes, it's like you think about who has the highest ceiling, I think Saliba is going to be out of this world, so good. He's still only 21. So yeah, just a matter of time. It was always going to be the hardest one, right?
I agree with you. As well, and I liked that. If anyone, maybe it's only an Arsenal thing, if anyone saw his interview, but I quite liked that he spoke about his loan moves because they seemed quite controversial or quite polarizing to fans and rivals fans about him being mismanaged. And as soon as he stepped on the scene in the Prem, he's definitely one of the best centre backs in the Premier League without a shadow of a doubt. And I think he does have a massively high ceiling, and it just seems like it's going to be a matter of time. So great news for Arsenal.
Yeah. Rick, you may say I'm talking rubbish, but you are a Spurs fan. So of course, you're not going to agree that Harry Kane can't be a footballing legend without winning trophies. I get that.
Not true. He can't speak no way.
Pat looks lost in the trophy talk, aka Audi Cup matters.
Bro, it's 2023. Please get some new jokes. Please.
that is true. Winning leagues as a manager consistently is way more impressive than winning the Champions League. And Pep has dominated and revolutionized everywhere he's been. That's why he's a great manager. So I'm not talking about him as a great manager. I'm literally saying that this particular City team, I think, has to win a Champions League to become a European great because. I don't know. No one's an Olympic great without winning an Olympic medal. There's no team that plays in the Ashes that's an Ashes great side that didn't win the damn Ashes. You can't be a great of something without winning it.
I don't think we're arguing they're a European great, though. We were just arguing they were great generally, weren't we?
But great domestically, yes. But to be a great team, you've got to win the trophy that all the other great teams have won.
So Mourinho's Chelsea weren't a great team, for example.
See, again, Mourinho's Chelsea, you could say no, but that same core group won the Champions League in 2012. So they became I don't look at it as you even have to have the same manager. It's the core group. Well, cool. They had that team had
7 years later.
Yeah. Lampard,
Drogba, Terry, Petr Cech. They're all there still. The main players are still there. The main players are still there. To be fair. Is Wenger's Arsenal not a great team then? They're not a European great team. No, they're not. They're a domestic juggernaut, Arsenal. But to not win the Champions League, you can't be a European
in that Invincibles year,
and I don't mean it disrespectfully. Find me a sport, find me an Olympian who's an Olympic great without someone like Eddie the Eel, probably, or Eddie the Eagle is like an Olympic great without winning an Olympic gold. But they're a joke. They're like a novelty act. No one can be a great of a tournament. Is there an NBA great who hasn't won whatever it is you win? Or is there an NFL great who hasn't won the Super Bowl? Is there a coach who's looked at as the greatest coach or a team that's seen as the greatest team in the NFL that hasn't won it? Of course not.
No.
We can't change the rules here of all sport ever. Imagine Morpheus being so bothered about Arsenal. Bro, you need to be bothered about the amount of money you spend and your need for European football. That's true. Best signing you can make is keeping the best players on your team. They are young players who will only improve under the manager Arteta working magic. That is certainly true. It's brilliant work by Arsenal, no doubt. Arsenal, that type of club to take a level 1 language course and then try to write a PhD dissertation.
Shout out to Umbro, man. Chelsea talk, man.
What does that mean?
I think he's just abusing Arsenal.
He's saying overdoing it, basically.
We'll overdo it in May in N5 at the parade.
Oh, what's funny is like we're always overdoing it, but like, I mean, we genuinely have a chance of winning the title. So like, what are we overdoing?
We shall see after 38 games. So.
So we can't say that we're in it. So you guys just don't want to hear us talk about it. I feel like that's what it is. Just like it grinds your gears so much that we're talking about it. You want us to be humble for your sake. We are in the title race.
I wish you for the best.
Focus on 10th and Quidditch football. Do that.
You see, I mean, you didn't have to go below the balls, man. Right.
No, for real. I mean, you guys just don't like to hear it, but like, we are in the title race. So
100%.
With how Arsenal were doing, are the Cronkies good again? I think Colin's already answered that, to be fair. Sort of the jury's out, but they're doing better, is how it kind of heard. That was one of the best takes on the Cronkies I've heard from an Arsenal fan with a platform. Big up you guys, is what Raul says. It must be talking about what Colin and Jess were saying as opposed to me. Maybe it was me. I don't know. But I'm going to give them to the credit. I don't know. They didn't specify, but I'm going to give the ladies a credit on that one. Love the panel. Big up, Jess. We miss you, is what is said there. But there we go. Jess is rattled. No, Jess ain't rattled. Jess is back in her team. That's how it should be. I'm glad to see it. Terry, you didn't say European great. You said great team. Okay, but for me, they're one of the same. Just to put it out there. Someone said a minute ago, Arsenal are not domestic juggernauts. Where is that? Yes, they are. Like, again, to put some respect on Arsenal's name. I think they've got, what, is it 13 league titles?
14.
14 league.
Oh, no. Oh, well, sorry, I'm going early. It will be 14.
13 league titles. Only Man United and Liverpool have more. I think to say they're not domestic juggernauts is, again, it's not even, it's just silly. It's a silly comment, to be honest with you. It's a silly comment to say that, of course. Someone in the comments said, I can't find his comment now. He might have deleted it. He might have deleted it quick. Now I've said it. Where did he say? I've got to find him now. Got to find him. Where's he?
I saw it as well. I saw it. It was definitely.
I'm not making it up then. I wouldn't make it up. That'd be really weird.
Yeah, I said it on my burner. I know I deleted
it. Like it. Quick score predictions. Leicester, Arsenal. What you saying, Jay?
3-1 Arsenal.
Hey?
Yeah, 3-0 Arsenal, unfortunately. Easy game.
Yeah.
Easy game.
Yeah.
Cole?
3-1 Arsenal, but I have the biggest warning for Brendan Rodgers and anyone who's in the city of Leicester. This whole season, Leicester's been going toe-to-toe with every team they play. If I see Leicester turn up at home with this low block nonsense, I'm lobbying for them to bring back fox hunting. I'm stealing every single fox in Leicester because I don't want to see that. Don't go toe-to-toe every week just because you lost at United. I said 3-1, have hope. But if you don't see any foxes, because I've nicked them, I don't want to see no low blocks. Okay?
Look, no one asked
I need that high line. I need that high line and that bad defending. Okay.
Yes. Castagna, Danny Ward.
Let us in.
What are you saying, Nobbins?
4-0 Arsenal, easy.
Yeah, exactly. Easy.
What are you saying, have hope?
I'm saying 2-0 to Lil Bro.
2-0. I'm going to go with 3-0 Arsenal in that game. And Jess, we're talking City versus City away to Bournemouth, is it?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
City 3-0 something.
Patty?
4-0. Grealish is going to get 2 goals to shut up the haters.
Doesn't get called out on this channel. It's Luke Chadwick. What are you saying, Cole?
3-0. No surprises this weekend.
Nobbins?
You can call me Knobs if you want. I think that the Forest game was one of the most dominant displays I've seen from City, and that includes the 6-0 against Forest. City will hopefully play similar, and it'll be 6-0.
6-0, jeez.
6-0.
Have hope.
4-1 to City.
City. I'm gonna go with a cheeky 2-2.
2-2? Nah, no chance. No chance.
When it happens,
You just want United to
chance.
take them,
I can
innit?
see it now.
Listen, I'm willing it.
No
I'm willing
chance.
it. I wouldn't mind. Little 2-2. Little. Everyone say if I just little 2-2. Little 2-2. Little 2-2. Little 2-2. We'll see. I'm putting it out there. The energy out there. Luke Chadwick, prove me wrong, bro. Prove me wrong.
He already has this season. He's been really good.
Listen. Anthony has been banging in goals. Winners against Barca, he gets called a flop. Jack Grealish gets away with it because he's sexy. If Anthony was good looking, he'd be
sorry. Do you think Anthony's been better than Grealish this season?
Yes.
Sorry, really?
Nah,
Are you being so serious?
He has.
He's not been better. Anthony's been all right though this year. Like Grealish has been so average, man.
I'm not talking about Anthony. I'm asking whether you think that Anthony's been better than Grealish this season.
6 of one, half a dozen of another.
That's harsh. I think Grealish has actually been good this year, to be fair. I know the stats might not.
For 100 mil, Patrick, for 100 mil. For 100 mil.
Forget the price tag. Just think about what he's doing in that
City. If you're asking that question.
The guy looks like he's auditioning to play football with Jamie Lynch on F2 Freestylers. He's got to do something with the ball. No, I'm only winding you guys up. I'm only winding everyone up. Listen, everyone who's tuned in tonight, I want to say a massive, massive thank you to each. And by the way, he may be better than Anthony, but it was Anthony that was celebrating a good European night last night. I didn't have to bring my man up. I love it when he scored. I could hear when he scored. I heard the whole world go mental. Everyone was going crazy. I heard it. Oh my god, he's done it again. He's totally debut season. And every time he does that, every time he scores, people put his price tag up. He's gone from 80 million to 100 million inside the season. It's crazy. I love it. Keep hating, baby. Listen, we'll be back live tomorrow after the Premier League games in the afternoon, and of course Sunday. Preview for the Carabao Cup final in the morning, and then reactions to Chelsea and Tottenham, and of course the big final between Newcastle United and Manchester United as well. A big shout out to our title sponsors tonight, NordVPN. Scan the QR code on the screen now, or click on the link in the description to take a look at their latest offers. As much great as all the discounts are, as great as access to your content is all around the world, protect your data online. I can't tell you how important it is to protect yourself against fraudsters and data harvesters in the modern day world. Get it done now. Get it downloaded. It's cheap. It's literally less than a price of coffee per month, and you can save it and use it on 6 devices at any one time. So get it downloaded now. Until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see